I'll show you after some time for this. And before starting, we just know about the electrical plans, and there are some drawings which is used for the visualization. So here we are starting. There was in a plan where we use a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing portion. Here we having using the plumbing portion and the electrical portion for that. That's a plan. Okay. There was just a drawing which you just indicate. Like here we having the HUC AHU system. Like here for the induction of the air, we just use the refusers and diffusers there. After it, we are using the cable tray for the light for the connection, plumbing part for the you can say the oversupply of the water. And apart from that, there was a such type of lights we just have to integrate. Like we having a fluorescent light and a spot light. There were several types of light we are using in interior. Like where sometimes when I was just working for the conference room, we are using the fluorescent light over there because the influence of the like a flux of the fluorescent light might be you can say in much they can diffuse in some type of cone variance because you can see whenever just a light is working, they're having some cone variance, the dispersion value of the light where they have to disperse. So the fluorescent light having a much more dispersion value, so we are using over there. Area light is just a rectangular light we are using. And suspending light is a hanging light. Tracking light we are using in the you can say in a wall mounted. We are using a tracking light over too. And
Right.
apart from that, there was a such you can say the three-bedroom wire plan diagram, which I just want to indicate like how we just indicate the wires. There was an Indian plan. Don't go with the like if you're not from the American plan, just going for the Indian plan. So we're having such type of 9 inches wall over there where we're having the doors elements, and here you can see the electrical fixtures which are just placed over there, and the plan is moving like here. The dotted line indicates the wire system, the wire connectivity from the main AHU system that we have the duplex over there. And apart from that, there was a light which are passing from there. Here we are having a lights for this, the fan indicator, the outdoor, the doorbell, and the light bars too. They're having a several things for this. Okay.
Yeah.
And there wasn't just a simple indicator that we use for that. Like here we're having some things like lighting fixtures and the light, the connection between them. It might be shown like they are connected to each other with the using of wires. But we doesn't use wires over there. There was single type of connection we are using right now. Okay. And there was an
Yeah.
amplifier where we just connect all the AHU connection, all the lighting fixtures together for this. There was a main supply, you can say. Okay, so that's a thing. I just want to interact with you. Like, there's other things we're gonna learn in today class. That was just an introduction for this. And here there was a work session of a Revit architecture where we're gonna see the several things. The topmost layer, you can see the ribbon bar, which having the architecture layouts between them. Here you can see we're having the wall. There was a firstly, I just want to elaborate one thing. Revit has been divided into three parts. The first part, which is we're gonna learn, that was a Revit architecture, and the second was Revit structure, and the third but not least is the Revit MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing parts. Okay, and in our session, we're gonna learn about the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing part, and we are focusing on the electrical stuff. So these
Yeah.
are the fundamentals we just have to know before starting anything. Here you can see the file structure just depended upon like here we having a new file. Have you worked in a Revit before this class sessions?
No.
They were first screen for you, know. So I just
Yeah.
elaborate everything for this. Here we
Okay.
having the new portion. Before starting this, I just want to know, elaborate one thing. Like before you start this thing, you can see one thing more. Whenever you create here, you can see that there's a new project option. Here we
Okay.
having the template option. So what do you mean by templates? According to you, have you heard this word, the templates,
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
it mean? So
It's
what do you
like
mean
just
by
a
it?
sample kind of a thing.
This might be you can say that it was a sample of thing. So sometimes why we use the templates and why it's a basic need for the templates. The basic thing just we have to know because Revit has that type of software. Interior designer also work there. As a structure designer also work there. If you're going for electrical and plumbing part, you can also work there. There are several users which are using the Revit. So how would Revit initiate like the user is from this background or they are using for the mechanical, electrical, plumbing or the everything? The template is the one of the most important thing. We just have to preoccupy the units and the system we are using over there. Okay, so we having a several types of template here. The imperial system, it might be shown like you are working for the inches and the feet and inches way. Okay, and in
Hmm.
metric you just go for the working about the meters. Okay,
Okay.
if you want to work on the meters, we having a several units too. We can change the unit according to our configuration. You can don't worry about it. Here we're
Okay.
having a construction template. If you want to go with the construction, like if you want to know how the load we are assigning on a structure, whether the structure is compatible or not, is it a proper structure? Because being a civil engineer, being a designer, your first priority should be safety. So we're gonna learn
Mm.
about it, like the whether the software is whether is a building is compatible for it or not. Okay, the first thing we have to know about the empirical construction templates. In this, we are working on the templates and empirical architectural template. Here we're gonna learn about the architectural systems, like what type of system we are gonna know. In architecture, we are having a several things. In architecture, we are divided in two portions. Like we are working on a residential and a commercial. You heard this thing before, residential. What do you mean by residential? Where we live. And if I are talking about the commercial portion, where we work. Where we live is a residential and where we work is in commercial. We are working both the terms in between them. Like if you want to know about the electrical part, we can work on a residential as well as the commercial parts too. So that's are the correlation between them. Here for the MEP portion, you just have to take the empirical system templates. Okay. So whenever just you choose this thing, and it might be shown like that you are working like this. And here you can see this is a property bar. If you want to change any property, if you want to change anything, if you want, like if you want to change the scale, the visibility, and if you're working with someone, you can change anything about the property plans. And here you can see the project browser. In project browser, we having a several things. First, we have to starting with the electrical portion. In electrical portion, we having a lightings. Lightings, we having a floor one because you can see whenever just I just want to place a lighting, I just know about my ceiling plan where I just want to assign a ceiling. Like according to me, if I just working with a 12 feet of wall, we are using 11 feet or a 10.5 feet for the electrical part. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for the ceiling portion, and you're having a ceiling plans too over there. After that, you're working with the power. Power is a that thing that you, if you want to know, if you want to play with the switches, if you want to play with the connections, you can go with the powers. And if you want to play with the, if you want to play or to know like how much intensity of a light we are using, you can go with the powers too. And here we are having a electrical 3D portion where just I just want to know ki how much electricity, what type of product we are designing in a 3D. Before starting this thing, the Revit architecture is that type of software which is designed by the Autodesk. Have you heard this word? Autodesk
Yeah.
is that type of company. They are designing such type of simulation software which are using for the interior designing, civil engineering, and several designings too. Okay, so what was the main difference between Revit and AutoCAD? Before we are starting for this, if I talk about the AutoCAD, we first we have to create a 2D plan over there. After that, if you want to convert 2D to 3D, you can just shift your workspace to a 3D and you can create the 3D views too. And
Okay.
the one drawback for the AutoCAD is that whenever just creating a 3D view, you can't be able to reverse it. You can't be change the 3D to the 2D view. That's the main thing. And in Revit architecture, we are working parallel towards a 2D and a 3D. You have created a 2D line and the 3D line has been created partially. So that's the main difference between AutoCAD and a Revit architecture. Okay, why we are using Revit? That's the main thing. And in electrical portion, we're having a mechanical portion too. In mechanical portion, we are working with HVAC, heat ventilation and conduction plans. And here we're having a floor plans and a mechanical and a ceiling plans too. Same as well as the power supplies, they are working over there. And here you can see in any portion there was an elevation. So what do you mean by elevation? If I just want to see my elevation from the east view, you can see with the east, north, south, west. They are the four views which they are using over there. Apart from that, last but not least, it was the plumbing part. The same as usual, we are using this thing. They're having the legends and the schedules and the sheet too. The first thing, whenever you are working, I just want to know your designation. What is your qualification according to me?
I'm an electrical engineer.
You are a mechanical engineer, okay.
Electrical.
Okay, you are an electrical engineer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever just I just want to you can say disperse my sheet. I just want to elaborate my project in front of our organization or in front of my our government policies. We just have to design or align a sheet over there. So by this we can easily align the sheet. They're having a sheet templates too. We can just assign our project in front of them, and it might be sealed like your project has to be sealed. Okay,
Yeah.
and here you can see the display option. Like there was an option which you have to display like a fine project if you want to see like coarse, medium, and fine. Fine was the highest quality which you are using, and here you can see the realistic shaded, consistent colors, hidden wire lines, and wireframes too. Sun path if you want to. There's a portion which you are using in Revit architecture. If you want to create your own building, you can create it by looking this. There was an architecture way out, and for the MEP portion, for the electrical portion, you just have to go for the system. And whenever you just click on a system, here you can see the first portion should be divided, should be in HVAC. Here you can see in HVAC, the first portion should be duct, where you just have to create a duct and how the duct is, how your duct would be shaped. Like if you want to select a rectangular or a circular or a dimensional, you can see the ducts over there. Duct fitting over there, if you want to choose a duct fitting. Duct accessory if you want to. If you want to convert a flex duct, you can using. There's a duct, there was a mechanical portion. Apart from that, we are working over here. There was a mechanical equipment for this and the plumbing parts too. From here, we are starting the electrical portion. The first thing which we have to learn the arc wires, spline wires, chamfered wires, the cable tray, the conduit, which you're gonna learn about the parallel conduit, and there were some types of, you can say, the fittings over the electrical fixtures we have. We are having a devices too, like electrical fixtures, communication, data, fire alarm, lighting, nurse call, security, and telephones too. Here we having the lighting fixtures too. If you want to assign some lighting fixture, you can assign like a place in a vertical phase, or if you want to align to be in your ceiling, you can easily align it over there. Okay, and here you can see there's a four cameras in each of the view: east, west, north, south. You can change it according to your configuration.
Okay.
Okay, anything about it? Do you having any doubt regarding anything? I'm just here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, now it's good.
Now it's good. Okay.